Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live.
No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Thank you, Bill, for that wonderful introduction. Sweet Bill. We are the Donkey Show. Can you hear my chair?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I
awfully
can.
squeaky.
But do you know what's weird is I don't think it pops up.
No,
Podcast.
I don't think
How
so
can
either.
listeners not hear?
I'm telling you
Dude.
because I used to.
Can I
sit
switch
at
chairs with you, Zol?
Yeah, because I have.
Yeah. Can I get a non-squeaky?
Because I don't suck at audio engineering.
I think that
Yeah,
used to be.
definitely.
Yeah, you don't
I'm
suck
gonna
at
double
audio,
dip
and that shit never pops up.
I'm gonna
I used to sit
double
in that
dip here.
squeaky ass chair.
I'm gonna hold
and be
it
like, this
like,
has gotta be
I'm
in
gonna
the
hold it
ears
here
of
like
everyone
Breeze
listening.
holds it. I don't know how he does this. How do you have this thing in your hand
Zol's got his
the
shit
whole
down.
time, man?
Zol has his fucking audio
I
shit
mean,
down.
just like, I guess you can do this and you know, do that.
Yeah, you could
Just kind of like,
jerk it.
Donkey
you
Show
can,
musical
you can put it in there. Just,
Boom, boom, boom.
yeah, there you go, there you go.
Stop fucking doing that.
So fucking my mic.
We are the Donkey Show podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. My name is Brian Ruiz, a.k.a. 24 karat Negro.
All right. Please
Okay.
explain. This sounds-
I just feel like I'm shining today, baby.
All right.
Oh, okay. I like it.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
like it.
I'm feeling myself a little bit, you know what I'm saying? To the right of me is Christian Espejo, a.k.a.
The World Cup aficionado.
Okay, you got to give up this World
Hey
Cup
man,
stuff, man.
World Cup is
All right.
fucking great.
It's great. I agree.
All right. Hey,
Everyone who
pound it for the
Thanks,
World
man.
Cup.
Yeah,
gotta-
World Cup. World Cup.
You gotta give up this World Cup.
I'm going
Your
really
country-
hard.
Your country's they're out.
How
My
dare
country
you.
didn't even make it. Honduras. Shout out Honduras, you fucks. You need to get it better at soccer. But yeah, man, I saw you guys won 2-0. You guys beat
Yeah,
fucking
Australia. Well,
and
it didn't count for
appreciate that.
anything.
I appreciate that because Australia was the one that beat out my country, Honduras.
We
which
got
was-
you, man.
Yeah, good looking out.
Yeah,
man.
for
Good
sure.
looking out. To the right of Christian Espejo is Wesley P. Seymour, P for penis,
Yeah.
a.k.a.
AKA, I don't understand the fucking World Cup shit.
You fucking
Dude, okay, like
How
no,
dare you.
I'm not talking
How dare
shit.
you.
I'm not
You
talking shit on soccer World Cup.
How dare you.
But
you
what
don't
like
understand.
like I don't understand how your country won, right?
Yeah.
Peru
Racist.
won,
This is racist.
but it doesn't matter. Like
Oh, it's because-
before we started, it's like yeah,
Because
we
they went
won,
all the
but
way
it
to
doesn't
Russia,
matter.
you might as well play some other people that lost. Right?
Oh, I guess
Wait,
I
what?
don't know. I thought like if
You came all the way to Russia for the World Cup, like you might as well, your people might as well get to
People are
get
there, man.
get a nice little hurrah against another team that didn't make it.
Well,
You
it
guys-
goes by teams, and you play like
National
three.
league
You
teams.
play.
That is a
yeah,
good
national
just
team.
okay, so just school me really quick. So your team
Okay,
won,
so
but it
there's-
doesn't matter. Like you're not going
Okay,
to move
so
on in
there's
the World Cup.
there's different groups. There's from A to E, and in each group there's 4 countries. In my group, in Peru's group, it was Denmark, Australia, France, and Peru.
Okay.
And Peru, the first game they had was against Denmark, and they lost,
Okay.
and they didn't get a point. So then they go down.
What does that mean? They didn't get a point.
Because
They didn't score.
they didn't score at all
So
whatsoever.
it's more about how many goals you score. Than
Yeah,
whether
and
you
then
win or
points.
lose.
If you
Well, yeah,
win, you get 3 points.
So you could.
How come they let ties
say you
happen?
get
Ties happen because
Only
if a
one
tie
first
happens,
round.
then you get 1 point.
I know,
Only
but
in
why
the
do they
first
even let
round.
it happen? Why would
Because
they just say like,
because then it goes into goal differential. So it also like in the first group stage, it goes to goal differential. If you say this happened to Australia.
Yeah,
They won.
Australia got yeah.
So they won the first game and they tied with Denmark. So with France, I believe. So they got 1. Each of them got 1, and then fucking Denmark beat Peru. They got 3. So now it's 4.
I see.
And
it
now,
clicked.
yeah. So, but Peru lost the first 2 games, and then the third game they were out already. But out of pride, they won 2-0.
Got you.
So-
That makes sense.
and they kicked it.
Are they going home now? There's no more.
20
Yeah, they're
teams.
done. They're
done.
That's a starting base of 20 teams. Now they
Now it's
eliminate
down to
that.
16.
There you
So
go.
they
Who's
can,
the
like,
teams
so
can go
teams.
now?
16 is Mexico.
16?
16.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of
I
them.
don't wanna-
I thought you
you
said
got-
6 teams.
No,
That's what I heard
16.
too.
Yeah.
16,
Okay.
16
teams.
national teams are left.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my country's not either one of them, so I don't care.
Well, they didn't
Neither
even
are
go.
ours.
What's
Yeah,
so what's your guys' prediction? Just out of curiosity, like who, like if
It'd be
you had
nice
to
to
pick
see
right now, who's
Mexico
gonna win?
win.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I don't-
Mexico feels like the home team to me, yeah?
No. For me, it would be either
Belgium's
Brazil
the
or
dark
Spain.
horse.
What?
Yeah,
Brazil
either Brazil,
always
Portugal,
wins,
or
right?
Spain
No,
are
they
gonna win
don't.
this.
Germany won last
Germany got
time.
eliminated this morning.
Yeah, they did.
They got eliminated?
Yeah, by
Yes.
South Korea.
Hey, how
They
come
scored
Russia,
2.
real quick, how come Russia's in it with them not even qualifying to be in the World
Because
Cup?
if you host, then you're automatically in.
That's fucking lame.
Sneaky as fuck. That's
Dude,
lame,
Russia,
but also very smart.
Russia
on
will
Russia's
always figure out some way to
Yeah,
fucking
those
Yeah.
finagle their way in
fucking
there.
Yeah, dude.
Russians.
Sneaky,
Well,
motherfucker.
Uruguay beat them though, so
Huh?
Uruguay beat them, so
Uruguay?
They're out. They're
Uruguay.
out.
No, Russia's
Russia's still
in.
in.
Russia's in.
As
Russia
of
and
this
Uruguay.
morning?
Yeah. Russia and Uruguay are going
Are
to the
advan-
next
okay,
16
cool.
to the 16 team.
So how much longer do we have? Because I gotta
So
say,
July
I don't-
15th. That's the end.
The final.
The final July 15th.
The
I
final
don't
game
hate the World
is July
Cup.
15th.
It's on at the office. I'm watching them.
Dude, I'm
I'm
watching
making
it.
bets
Well, no,
just to make them
it's the
interesting.
shit.
Yeah.
You know, with like just $5 bets with coworkers and shit. Just what I'll watch.
That's fine.
I want to
Not
make
bad.
bets.
Costa Rica,
Is out.
totally out.
Yeah, totally.
Played
You know
today,
what?
so they
The
lost. and that's
Costa
it.
Rica,
Yeah.
Costa Rica. I needed them to be in because the only ties that I have left to soccer is Costa Rica. A,
Being
I went on my
border.
honeymoon there,
Yeah.
and B, they have a player named Brian Ruiz.
No way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, like,
That's
and
actually-
he's actually like a star
yeah.
player
Yeah,
on Costa
yeah.
Rica. So I'm like, if I'm gonna go for anyone, I'm gonna go for the team that I'm on.
Well, they're out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna go for my
Like if
team.
it was
Yeah.
FIFA,
And if they
Yeah.
win, I want my
And,
fucking
and Brian
medal.
Ruiz isn't bad at all. He's actually like
No, he's
actually like
I know who you're
really
talking
good.
about.
dude.
Brian, cheers, man.
Cheers, me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. To
Cheers.
Me. Hey, quick question
I'm
for you
acting like
guys.
I'm on this show
Okay,
right
so
now.
quick question. If I go to the restroom and I do the old flip the dick over without touching my dick, pull my pants down, and I use my pants to flip my dick over and I pee. Women won't get this, but guys will. Do I still have to wash my hands?
It's customary to wash
You
your
don't
hands
touch
no
it.
matter what.
I don't touch.
You
my,
might get some splash. You need to wash your hands.
Can I tell you
It's
why
the things in the
why I
bathroom.
asked this question?
Yes, and then I will give you
Okay, so you'll give me
Standard
that.
answer,
Okay,
yeah.
so the reason why is because every time I wash, I'm black, and did you guys know that?
No,
we do now.
Oh,
Well,
I guess. Wow.
I'm
for
black.
our
have another
listeners, not
segment
viewers.
on the show
Brian
today.
Ruiz.
Brian's
I'm
black.
black.
I'm black. And every time I wash my hands get dry, super dry, and then I have to put lotion on them so they're not dry anymore.
That's a black thing you're saying.
It's a black thing, dog. Whoa. It is super black.
Is that really
thing.
a thing?
Dude, every time I wash my hands, if I want to walk around with like fucking ashy ass hands, I could do that. But
So
it's not
do
my
you
style.
avoid washing your hands because of that?
No, I just have to carry around fucking.
I was about
lotion
to
with
ask,
me,
do you
dude?
carry around lotion? So
Dude,
you carry around
I
lotion.
know everywhere I can get lotion in my office.
Oh.
Okay, there's one in my car. Our HR department, shout out Nahid.
Oh yeah.
Fucking, she has a whole bunch of like stripper lotions in her office and shit. There's another coworker that has them. There's no other place in the office that has lotion, so I have to actually carry and keep lotion with me. So like every time I wash my hands, I gotta fucking put on lotion. Like, fuck. Well, if I don't touch my dick, do I still gotta wash my hands?
Okay, so here's the answer to that question. Here's the answer to that question. If a tree falls in a forest, does it make a sound?
Yes.
Yes.
No. Okay, well, yes, it
Well,
does.
yeah, it does.
But nobody gives a fuck because nobody saw the tree fall.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So what I'm saying...
I see what you're saying.
Okay, so if I'm taking a
It's up
piss...
to your own
if I'm taking a
conscience.
piss next to Brian Ruiz, and Brian Ruiz does the, I'm not going to touch my dick, I'm going to flip my shit up, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know that because I'm not watching Brian pull out his dick and take a piss.
Yeah, you're
All
not
I
watching-
see is Brian Ruiz
Not
go to the
washing his
fucking
hands.
thing. Yes,
Not washing-
sit
We're talking
back
about
up
Brian
and not wash
Ruiz,
his hands.
right?
Yeah, all I'm thinking is that motherfucker didn't wash his
Yeah.
hands.
Okay, so if
Dirty.
someone else, so
talking about Brian
I'm
Ruiz.
only asking
So if
this.
you are in the forest
Yeah.
alone, if
And
you're in the
s-
bathroom alone,
Yeah.
nobody gives a
And
fuck.
So I wasn't in the bathroom with anybody, and I was like, do I wash my hands? You know what? I'm not washing my hands. And then I left. I walked out of the bathroom, left. However, there was another time that I did the exact same thing, and there's someone with me, and I'm like,
Wash your hands, dude.
Well,
Yep.
dude, and you
gotta
know what
wash
I
your
do? I get, because I don't want my whole hand, because in between my hands get all ashy and shit. You gotta see this. It's just horrible. So like I'll put lotion on the tips of my fingers, or I'm sorry, soap on the tips of my fingers, and just do the gentle scrub of the tips of my fingers, so my whole hand doesn't get. So I don't have to put lotion on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that-
You know what I'm saying?
That's
What
a
ab-
tough dilemma.
Yeah, dude.
But especially
Jesus.
in the work, like you work in an office with other people in the workplace, you don't want to be known as
a
the guy who
guy
doesn't
that-
wash his
yeah,
hands. And it only takes
definitely.
once, and it like, and dudes are not like women where they're gonna be like, fucking Brian Ruiz doesn't wash his hands, but still,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't want to take that
But also,
risk.
you know what? The people in my, I mean, fucking A. The bathrooms at my office are, fuck, dude. You know what? It's one of those things where I've noticed in my 30s, I'm cleaning up shit that's not mine.
Yeah,
And
In
I
public
totally-
places?
And I use, dude, it's so weird.
Really?
You just look
It's
at the
so
sink
fucking
and the
weird.
sink's all
I'm like,
wet
what the
and
fuck?
shit.
I don't do
it's
that.
wet. There's paper towels on there, and I'm like,
Do the same thing, dude.
if I keep this clean, then the next people that'll come in will see that it's clean, and they'll clean up after themselves.
I think the
But
most-
then when there's a couple, there's actually that broken glass theory. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah.
If you go, you heard of it
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
If you put a car in a bad neighborhood and then you break the glass, people are gonna start thinking that it's okay to make this car worse. They're gonna start stealing wheels and start stealing all this other shit.
I don't understand. I'm lost.
Okay, it's just a theory. Like if shit looks fucked up, people are gonna make it more fucked up or continue.
no one's
What do you
gonna
mean
care.
break the glass? I don't understand.
It's a broken glass theory. Like if you break a glass for a vehicle in a neighborhood.
Like a window? Are you talking about like
Yeah,
a
like
window
a window.
windshield?
Yeah.
You
No, like
smash it.
no, like
Smash
a,
it.
like just
it's
like a
gonna
window.
make the whole area
Oh, 'cause
look
it's on the
bad.
ground.
So
Yeah.
people are just like, this is the neighborhood that I'm in. There's
Right.
a
Okay.
smashed
Oh.
window. Blah blah blah. So people are gonna think like, oh, I can just treat this place like shit. I
Right.
got a broken glass over here. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But if you keep the place up, that's why people keep. Whenever you see in an okay neighborhood, like I live in an okay neighborhood. So like if someone tags, they clean that shit up real quick because an okay neighborhood can quickly turn into a really fucking bad neighborhood. So like they're constantly if someone tags or does anything, they're constantly cleaning it up because they're like, fuck that, we're hanging on by a thread over here.
Hey, aren't you
know what I'm
afraid of like splashback though? Like
What?
when you pee and you don't wash your
You
hands.
can't get over the piss.
The splashback.
No,
yeah,
can't,
you
like,
get some splashback
When you
sometimes.
piss,
It
in a
depends on when
urinal,
you're peeing.
water.
What do you mean?
Are we talking
Well,
about
if you're
Brian
peeing
Ruiz,
and
the
go-
podcaster, or Brian Ruiz, the soccer player?
Brian Ruiz, a podcaster. Soccer
Okay.
player is out of the World Cup. The splashback happens.
Because sometimes you don't even know. Like you may be having your hands down there and you get splashback, but you don't even know.
I've
and now
never
you're walking
had
around.
splashback that has ever touched my hand.
Yeah, what kind of piss
Really?
are you
Oh, I
having?
have.
Really? I have.
your
Yeah.
hands?
How hard? How
Yeah,
hard?
it goes back. Like I'm
Are you
pissing and it
guys
just
peeing
goes.
and are you guys moving your dick around so it can get all around everywhere so it doesn't have to be in a specific
No,
spot?
no, it's just.
Dude,
getting-
you're gonna hit. This is dangerous games you play.
What do you mean?
You're gonna hit some. If you keep aiming for the exact same spot in the toilet at full force, there's gonna be splash.
No, I'm talking about urinal.
Anywhere. There's gonna be if you're going full force at the same spot.
Gotta be
like this
vigilant.
isn't like one of those balloons that you.
So you feel like if you like, so when you
have
take
to
a piss,
run around?
you're moving around.
moving?
I'm
You're
just I'm
writing
not,
your name,
I'm not
Brian. You're
aiming-
signing Brian Ruiz. You're tagging. You're
I'm
tagging.
not-
Somebody
I'm
has to come in and fucking paint over that shit every time you take a
I'm
piss.
not aiming at the same spot and using the same force towards that same particular
are you
spot.
talking?
Wait, what
so
the fuck?
You
Okay.
release, you regulate
No,
the
no, no, no.
force.
I'm moving it around. Same force.
Okay.
I'm moving it around. I'm under the assumption that you guys are using the same force in one particular area.
I thought there
yes?
was only one force. Just pissing force.
Yeah, like when I take
Yeah.
a piss, I just
Just
piss.
piss, yeah.
And,
Yeah,
like,
but you
and
can kind
sometimes
of go
there's
hard.
splashback.
You don't ever like
sometimes
press.
there's not.
You don't ever like go.
You be careful with that. You blow out your urethra that way.
Really?
Yeah,
You're-
dude, that's
shit.
possible.
But you don't ever go. You don't ever like if sometimes like when I'm drunk, like I'll go and I
Yeah,
have to
well,
be
yeah.
so bad, oh, and then I'll just fucking just let that shit ride, and that's how I know about the splashback thing.
But does it happen to you on a regular basis?
Regular basis, I'm moving that bad boy around, trying not to put a lot of emphasis and pressure in one particular area, so I
Whoa.
can avoid splashback. Guys, there's a game to this. There's levels to this.
I just
shit.
wash my hands. I don't
Yeah,
have
me
like
too.
the
Yeah,
ashy
yeah, yeah.
problem.
I
to be
know,
careful.
I know.
Yeah.
There's levels to this, dude. I wish you were black for a day.
Oh man, yeah, I didn't know about the ashy finger.
Yeah, that's
Ashy
that's
fingers.
unfortunate.
Ashy fingers, ashy elbows, and you know the people who call
I
you
get the
out on
elbow
that
for sure,
they're-
dude.
Shut up. The people that call you don't even know the half of it. The people that call you out on that shit. I'm telling you, the people that call you out on that aren't like white people. No white person's gonna come up to you.
no,
Look at
yeah,
that
yeah.
ass
I didn't
shit.
even know until
Another-
you-
No, I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
don't even
another
notice
black person will come up and be
I
like,
get you.
"Look at this ashy ass motherfucker." You guys will never even notice.
Do
it.
you? So you look at other
All
black
the
dudes,
time.
And you're like, you're
are
ashy.
you, you're not. You're
Dude,
not.
it almost
No,
is
no,
a.
not.
It almost is a like. it's like you're almost like unkept. Like you're like what? Like why are you
That is-
rolling
that's
around?
odd.
It's another thing you gotta work.
It's another thing I've
My
never
knuckles
heard.
on my
It's
toes
another-
are super ashy.
It's another doesn't matter. It's another thing that you have to worry about, and I don't know what other races have to worry about, but like black people,
think it's only black people.
Ashiness is some real ash. Ash.
Hey,
I'll use
real
that.
ass shit.
Real ass shit, dog. At the ashy
some
game.
real ass
Shout
shit.
out to all the fucking real good fucking lotion companies,
Jergens.
out
Hashtag.
there, fucking. Cocoa
Name
butter,
another
right?
one. Cocoa
Cocoa
butter. I was
butter.
like, name
But you
another
know
one.
what? Cocoa
Jergens
butter.
is
If we're really gonna talk
Jergens
about
is the
like
best.
this shit, cocoa butter, it gives you that. It's cool
Leaves
and
you
it
greasy, though.
prevents. It greases you up too much.
Hey, do you have to be careful with the smell? So if you use one, you can't use like a Victoria's Secret one. Like it's
I'll
say-
take what I can
Sometimes-
get.
sometimes-
I mean,
You don't
everything
care?
goes away. Everything
Really?
I'll
Because
take what I
chicks
can get.
will put like lotion, Victoria's Secret lotion.
No.
They'll smell like that for like
you know
days.
what? If I have Victoria, good point. If I have Victoria, like Nahid, our
Yeah,
HR
yeah.
girl, she has all that stripper. I call it stripper,
stripper
lotion.
lotion, yeah.
And I'm not slathering. I'm just getting what they
Just a little bit.
I'm just here for business. I'm just getting the getting the ashy spots, and I'm moving on, dude.
So Nahid
Uh-huh.
is like Indian or like
yeah,
I don't know what she is,
I don't know.
actually.
That's a good question.
I know she's El Salvadorian, and I think
Wait,
she's
she's El
from
Salvador?
Iran. She's El Salvadorian and Iranian.
oh yeah,
like
she is because she put something about the Iran
On
plane.
World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but she does a lot of like she has like smell, like she has like always some
I feel like
A lot
women
of
in general.
do in general.
Yeah,
I
they
think
just
women in
feel-
general.
well,
go,
dude, like okay, I agreed, but I also feel like dudes who smell like who do that are from a certain same area of the
Armenian?
like, area. I don't know, like dude, like there are
you
like
know what? I think I'm an over cologner.
are
I
you?
just do a spray, just one.
just one spray?
I
Just one right
stopped
here.
cloning after maybe
That's important,
10 years
man.
ago.
That's
Is
super
it?
important.
That's
I
important.
don't clone anymore.
You know what?
Really?
Like,
I have
you know
cologne.
what? I
Oh.
don't. It's not that I want to not like. I don't use cologne to not smell bad. I use cologne to smell good.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
And like
a little accent.
You know what? I'm used to my, and I read this on like one of those what are they called?
Like
Info,
sample
caps.
Oh,
like a sample cap.
just something like that. One of those facts.
factorial thing.
Yeah, one of those things. But you get used to your own smell because when predators come around, if there's predators, you need to be able to smell something else. And if you keep your brain makes it so that you're not constantly smelling your own self, so it makes you used to your own scent.
That's the
I
same
don't
thing.
mind. I don't
Shit.
mind when women smell like perfume,
What
but
about-
when dudes
what
are
about just,
like
like, sweat?
over cologned, it's weird.
I
Like,
appreciate a good cologne, man.
Yeah, me too.
I appreciate a good cologne.
Like,
Yeah,
if
I'd
they
rather
like-
be over cologne than smell like ass.
if it smells, you know what? I don't mind no homo. I don't mind a dude not smelling like anything. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
None of you
but
guys
if you smell like
none of you
ass-
guys ever smell. If you smell like ass, that's everyone
That-
hates
That's
that.
just yeah.
Yeah,
But I
every-
think it's weird when a dude is just like over cologned. Like you can, I'm like,
That's-
damn,
it
bro.
has to
Like
be-
You don't
he's
smell
not
me.
like
You don't
cologne.
smell me over cologne ever.
No.
Maybe I'm under cologne. I need to work on
I
that.
think
no,
that
no,
you're
no.
either under cologned or the perfect
You're fine.
I'm the
cologne.
perfect- you know
but
what?
when
I just
dudes
do
are
one.
over cologne, it's like, bro, kick back, man. Like, what are you?
You know
what
what
are you
though?
showering in
I
that shit
think
for?
that over
I don't mind it when
I
chicks
think
do
that over cologne thing is also the cologne. I think there's some cologne that's very, very
Yeah, you have to find
Yes,
subtle.
but I also
powerful.
think there's dudes that just go like
Go
boop,
real
boop,
hard.
boop, boop, boop,
And you also have when you look
back
for a
on that
cologne, you have to that it goes with your pheromones. Like you can't just fucking buy
There is
any
a
cologne.
cologne that will smell something completely different on someone else.
Yeah, definitely.
Case in point.
That's true.
Alex Morgan. Shout out to my boy Alex.
So Alex,
Alex Morgan,
Yeah.
he had this cologne. He had the same cologne as me, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just not feeling it. It's just not, you know." He ended up. He's like, "This here, Brian. This is yours." He just gave me the cologne, the same cologne I wear right now.
no
He
shit.
just gave. He's like, "Dude, it's just not working for me." He wears Paris
what? Like, how
Hilton.
does- how-
He wears Paris Hilton cologne.
What,
Like, for
so,
women?
like when he says this is not
for
working for
men.
me, like what,
Oh.
like what works for him, like what,
It
how
just
he
wasn't-
smells it, or
I-
like how chicks
It's
are
your-
like.
no, it's-
"Ooh,
I
like
think
the
it's
way
your
you smell."
Good
skin.
question. I think it's all how. I think he's like, this is all on him. I think he just, what's up?
Huh.
I think it's all on him. He's like, I'm not feeling this.
No,
fucking- I'm
it
not feeling
has
this
something to do
cologne."
with the way you smell, like naturally.
Yeah, no, for sure. But
Because some
I
colognes
think
just
that like
won't
there
go.
are some that like chicks dig. and
You know
some-
what? Here's a really crazy thing. You know what? I won't. Fuck it. So like I was
that kind of an
I was on
episode. Yeah.
vacation, I was in Boston, and I had relations, and she was an African American girl, and I had relations with this girl, and she took a shower right? And out of the shower, she started to smell.
Ooh.
What?
Like after, I
Like
mean, as
right
we were
after
having
the shower?
intercourse, as we were having intercourse, she started to smell,
From her skin, you're saying, like from her pores.
Like she was just sweating.
and that was the first African American girl. And I don't know if
That
that
you ever
was
had sex with? You mean? Have you had sex with a lot of African American girls?
That was the only one.
the only one.
Dude, I'm not from a. There's not a lot of black chicks where I grew up. Like where I grew up is
here.
just like Hispanic chicks and white
here?
chicks, right?
Yeah,
Anaheim?
white chicks.
Same
Yeah,
here.
Anaheim.
Hispanic chick and white chicks. Don't get me wrong, I love a big booty black one. You know, I'll take one, but haven't had too many experiences. That's why that pheromone. I'm like, no, never.
The pheromone thing is very
I
important.
can't say it was like a bad smell. I say it was like a distinct smell that I've never smelled. And I'm not. It wasn't even coming from her vagina. It was coming from like
Yeah, her
Just
pores.
her, yeah,
her
just her.
pores. I'm like, this is interesting. Haven't smelled this flavor before. This is very, very interesting to me.
Chicks that smell good, it's very important. Especially when they
Chicks-
like they sweat a little
What
bit.
if girls smell like nothing?
I
fine
hate
with
that.
me.
I hate that.
Really?
That's
Fine
so
with me.
weird.
You
If
need
you
to
don't
have-
smell like anything, that's so weird to me.
I feel you, kinda.
yeah, I
actually.
need to smell like I don't know.
I need a girl to smell like something.
Yeah,
What do
definitely.
you think about girls who don't moan during sex? While we're
Oh,
on
like
this?
a
Is
wet
that weird?
fish? Yeah, that's super weird.
That-
Or not even
no,
just
just-
moan, but just something like
Yeah, yeah.
look
Like, you know,
you're
like-
alive. Even if you have to fake it. I mean, come on, just at least do
It's-
something.
All right, I think that's fair. That's fair, right?
What's
like
fair?
like it's fair. Like for sure, you want a woman that's going to make some sexual noises, whether it's moaning
Or just
something.
moving or just a face expression
So as
or
a
something.
man, do you moan? Do you moan? Do you make a noise? Or are you like? Do you have like a
You
man
want me to tell you some weird,
sound
weird shit?
when you have some sex?
If a chick's, oh man, this is super gay. Should I say this?
Maybe.
Cheers, is super gay. No homo.
Cheers.
As long as you say no
That's
homo
weird.
first.
Okay, so like, I'll put on to get her to put on, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's
Like,
I think
I'll
that's the
kinda-
natural way that it should
okay.
be.
So
Should
I'll
be. Like a
like
thing?
I'll start making a
A
little,
little
bit of
show.
noises here. Just something, just to.
I'm like, oh shit.
I'm not gonna give you guys my moan noise, but
Oh,
What?
we hear it all the time when before you start the
you guys wanna
podcast.
hear it? All right, it goes like this. I'm like,
Chewie!
Chewy.
Chewbacca.
Chewy.
that gets
shout
the
out to
chicks.
Chewbacca.
That gets the chicks real wet. We commercial? Are we doing commercials?
Let's
on?
run a commercial.
Let's run a
Yeah.
commercial. We have no guest today. No guest today.
No guys.
All right.
Bottle of water.
We don't need a guest today.
We don't need no guest today. We'll run
right.
this show on our own.
Right.
That's right, you bitch.
Way was fucking about during the commercial, and so I decided to do English accent for the rest of the show.
Yeah, I do
So-
English accents too.
Yes.
A dingo
Whoa.
ate my baby.
A Spyho is
oh,
also
shit.
going to do it in
Is that
English.
Australian?
Look, you
That's
want the
Australian?
Here
look,
we
you
go,
want
here
the
we go.
cell
Like
phone?
Dingo
I give you a
Dingoes in the
second.
UK.
That's big thing.
Alright,
Here's
You
the
go to my
soundboard,
store.
mate.
You go
Hold
to
on,
my.
let-
You go to
let
my.
Wes do his. You
Okay,
shut up.
okay.
No, mate. I've got
No, no.
the English accent down. You got to listen to my mate Spyho do an English accent. It's
Oh, I was
fucking
gonna do an
hilarious,
English-
mate.
I was gonna do an
Do
English
yours, do
accent.
yours. Go
English
ahead.
accent?
Yeah.
Hey, man, you come to my house? Oh wait, the English accent.
English.
The
yeah.
Oh,
English
I get them
accent.
confused with the Armenian accent. I know,
racist.
it's just the
Super
same
racist.
thing.
We can get real right now. One of my artists
Hey,
from
mate.
Australia is in the
Yeah, I
building.
know we
and
met him. He's a
upstairs.
really nice guy. All right, Spage, go.
Hey, man, take a piece of crumpet.
Oh
no,
my God.
It's spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on, mate.
I wish he was in here so we could put him on the
Spot
mic, dude.
Fucking perfect, mate.
Oh
Yeah,
my
thanks,
God.
man.
So we could compare him to someone that really has it.
Jesus Christ.
It's perfect.
So this DC versus Stipe Miocic is a legitimate super fight, and I'm very excited for it.
Dude, it's the first super fight
What
in.
happens
Yeah,
here?
in a minute.
Let's
Oh,
talk.
quite
Let's
some
talk,
time.
guys. What happens here? DC wins. What happens?
Becomes the champion,
If
but except
You're asking
he
if
can't beat
DC
John
wins
Jones.
this fight, what happens?
Okay, so here's what, and I'll touch on what Espejo just said. I hate that DC has the John Jones cloud over him.
That's-
No matter
Yeah.
what he does,
Nothing-
he can save kids from a burning building. He can beat every single fighter on the planet. He can
You know-
beat fighters that may have fucking beaten John Jones.
You know who
hypothetically.
hates
John-
that more than you do?
What?
DC.
DC probably.
DC,
I
yeah.
just go get. I feel it.
Gotta
though.
kill him, dude.
Hey, but
I
you know what he's
feel him.
doing? He is trying very hard to get that
Dude,
John Jones thing off his
dude,
shoulder.
and you know what? He doesn't have enough fights left in him to even do it. He only
Okay,
wants
so
to
Breeze,
fight-
let me ask you a
Didn't he
question.
get recalled anyway?
Breeze,
I heard-
let me ask you a legitimate question. If DC is able to beat Stipe, not beat him via decision, but if DC is able to finish Stipe, does that John Jones shadow disappear, or is it still there?
I don't know.
definitely gonna-
I feel like people are
you
still
know
gonna
what?
bring it up.
I
Will
hope.
help it.
Here's the thing. I hope that it would. I would hope that it would because that would solidify DC as one of the best fighters that's literally ever fought in the UFC ever. I mean,
So
think
here's
about
the
it.
problem with that. John Jones is going to come back very soon, and there is already talk of John Jones moving to heavyweight
And fighting
when he
Brock
comes
Lesnar.
back,
Brock Lesnar,
and Brock
yeah.
Lesnar. So if DC wins,
Let's go. Let's just go on DC.
Okay.
And then
Well-
we'll go. I promise we'll go there
No,
because
let's go
I'll do
hard on
something where we'll say who has a harder, who had a harder
Cock.
fight.
Oh,
No.
Recently,
I was
DC
thinking-
said he wanted to fight Brock Lesnar and then John Jones.
Yeah, he wants to fight Brock
that's
Lesnar than
because-
Jones. Okay, so DC has solidified himself as one of the best heavyweights that's ever lived. We always talk about
Sort
there's
of.
no sort of because he's just been on two different divisions. But if he stayed at heavyweight, he would have been the best heavyweight that's ever lived. And if he beats Stipe, that would solidify DC as the best heavyweight he's had a half and half career.
Here's
Best
the
heavyweight
problem
that's
I
ever
have
lived.
with that. Here's the problem I have with that.
All right.
He was for sure the best heavyweight that Strikeforce ever had, but he never fought at heavyweight in the UFC. And it really doesn't matter how great of a heavyweight you are in Strikeforce if you haven't beat the heavyweight champion
But
in
he's
the UFC.
he's fought.
But he's about to do that.
Okay, so he's fought fighters that are now in the UFC in Strikeforce, like Bigfoot Silva, fucking Josh Barnett, which Josh Barnett is talking about getting out of his contract, and I think he already has.
Bigfoot Silva's not really
And
fighting in the UFC.
Bigfoot Silva's not really fighting in the UFC.
Yeah.
But if we're going on that, they have both fought in the UFC. So it's almost like different promotion, same fighter.
It's tough.
Good stuff.
He is undefeated as a
As
heavyweight,
a heavyweight,
fighter.
he's undefeated. He's never lost a fight. And as a light heavyweight, the only person he's ever lost to was
John
John
Jones.
Jones. And it's like, it sucks that he's going to keep getting this cloud over his head that's saying the John Jones cloud. And it's always going to be plagued by John Jones, some sort of fuck up that he's had. So it's like, we as fans are almost like in limbo as well. Because technically, he's only lost to John Jones once.
No,
he's
he
lost
No. I
twice.
said technically.
No, I don't
No,
think
he lost
anybody's
twice.
even he himself.
Everybody knows
the last
that I
time-
am saying technically. If you were to Wikipedia or Google
okay.
the record of John Jones, he has a no contest on this fight, and so does Daniel Cormier.
Yes,
So
and
like
we all-
technically, if we're going according to that, he's only lost to John Jones once, and I get it. I'm not dumb,
Right.
but he's technically only lost to John Jones once. Does that make this if they fought again? Maybe like a rubber match?
No,
Does
it would make it the third.
Does it make it less exciting if we were to see them fight?
Yes.
A
Well,
third
yes.
time?
Third
it
time.
does.
Well, he cried the last time. He said, "Look,
does.
I've lost twice. This means that there is no contest."
And I don't think that there's anyone who really
Why did
wants to
Rampage
see a
Jackson get to fight Wanderlei that third time then?
because that was so long ago in a different promotion, and the
Okay.
UFC said we're gonna build up this crazy
I'm gonna
shit
get
that
onto,
happened
I'm
a
gonna
long
get
time
onto that
ago.
fight too.
Dude, yeah. But,
yeah,
dude, I don't know if you can sell a
no
DC
one feels
John
bad for
Jones.
DC. Like seriously, no one feels bad for DC.
I like him.
Why would you feel bad for DC? Number one, he has solidified himself as one of the greatest
You know
UFC
what I mean.
fighters on the planet. He is also an incredibly wonderful person. He's an open book. He's a great father, great husband. He's a
and
great
all of that is
entertainer. He's
all
a great
being rained
commentator.
on by John
John
Jones.
Jones.
Sort of, but not really. Yes, yeah. Like there's nothing he can do about that. There's nothing
He
he can do
knows
about
it.
that. Yeah.
He knows it. We know it. And it's just always going to be one of those things where if he doesn't beat John Jones, he doesn't really get that that notoriety. He should. Don't
Yeah, I
get me
should.
wrong.
I
He
don't
should.
feel sorry for Daniel Cormier. He is one badass motherfucker. Yes, he's got this one shadow hanging over his head. That shadow.
John Jones will
is-
get all this. John Jones will get all the accolades that DC didn't get.
I get it, but I
he
think in
did
the
well.
end,
And he does
but
now.
But I think
still.
in the end, John Jones is my favorite fighter. He has been for years. He probably always will be. And I've been disappointed multiple times with everything that's happened. But in general, DC, I think he gets a lot of respect from everyone.
And then-
he's not going to lose in this situation. He's
I-
going to rise above the situation. When he retires, everyone is going to hail him for who he is because he's an amazing dude, an amazing fighter. He will probably go on to have a great career
This
in the
time-
UFC as a commentator, as a ESPN analyst, whatever he needs to do or wants to do, he's going to get to
With
do.
all that
He'll
mention that you
probably
just said, with all that mentioned, you just said that all those things are true.
Yeah.
I don't take anything away from DC, but you think in the back of his head, once he retires and whatever they give him or whatever accolades he gets from the UFC, from all his fans, do you think at the end of the day, in the back of his head, he's gonna be like, fucking John Jones?
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
That's fucked
And
up.
that's why I feel bad for him.
I don't. But
so who
the
do you
answer
think
is
had a
yes.
harder? Who do you think had a harder run? So DC beat. Let's go through DC's. I'm not going to no names. I'm just going on the who's who. You know, we ain't talking about the little bitches we fucked back in the day. We're talking about the Beyonces.
Yeah.
You know, we're not talking about the no names.
Yeah.
We're talking about
The ones you tell your
Rihannas.
grandchildren about.
Yeah. We're talking
When
about
I was
those
your
ones.
age.
Yeah, when I was your age, I fucked Rihanna.
Mm-hmm.
I hope to God I say that one day. All right. DC beat Anthony Rumble Johnson twice. Choked his big ass out.
Retire.
Enormous man.
Yeah.
The equivalent of the MMA Debo. Beat his ass twice.
Huh?
Yeah.
Anderson Silva. But Anderson Silva out of his prime.
Yeah.
Can we all agree on that?
Yes,
Yeah, post.
We all can
Yeah,
agree.
post Anderson
Post.
Silva.
It's almost
Anderson
like,
Silva.
dude, like, why are you gonna bring that shit up?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
you know what though? Like, if that was, it's almost like saying, like, yeah, I fucked Marilyn Monroe. You did, but she was like 60.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's not. Well, I mean,
Or
I
dead,
guess.
yeah.
Correct.
Or dead. I mean, I know she didn't live to be 60. He beat Alexander Gustafsson in a pretty close decision.
That was
he did.
that
So
was
did
ru-
John
that was a
Jones.
crazy
and
fight.
that was prime Anderson, or excuse me, Alexander Gustafsson.
So
He
did
beat
John
Roy
Jones.
Nelson, which is always hard.
Mhm.
He beat Josh Barnett, which is a wrestling nightmare.
And
Notable.
Josh was probably
Probably on steroids. He beat Josh Barnett on roids. He beat Bigfoot Silva on steroids.
for sure.
Okay, so that's his who's who.
Mhm.
Seems like there was a lot more, right? No. Okay. Jones beat OSP. Remember that comeback fight that he beat OSP on, like when he came back and it was just super boring.
Here's the thing about Jones. He beat everybody.
Yeah, that was boring.
He beat Glover.
Yeah, he beat everybody.
He beat Alexander Gustafsson in a fight
Well, that was
some people may
crazy.
actually say
Just-
that
Alex-
Gustafsson
yeah,
may
Gustafsson
have had the
would've
better
won,
of him
yeah.
and won that fight.
Yeah.
He
Gustafson's still holding on to that till
put-
this day.
I know.
Yes, he
I would
is.
too.
Yeah.
I would too.
But Gustafsson got knocked the fuck out by Anthony Johnson in the first
MMA math.
round.
Sometimes
Hasn't
MMA
fought
math
an MMA.
doesn't fully.
Yeah.
And Anthony Johnson never fought John Jones.
Okay.
That's
True.
interesting, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
Yeah. Chael Sonnen on steroids. We all know that. Vitor Belfort on steroids.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vitor Belfort clearly.
Yeah. Not dad bod Vitor.
Yeah.
Rashad Evans. Still prime, towards the end of his prime, but still prime Rashad Evans.
I'm gonna pull my beer up out of this goofy ass hand, and I just want to say cheers to Rashad Evans.
We'll get to that. That's in the list.
are
Cheers to
retiring
Rashad
Rashad
Evans.
Evans.
But
Yes.
save that
Cheers,
cheers.
man.
Save that cheers because I'm
Putting it
gonna
back.
get to
Take a
that.
shot for
putting
him.
it back.
Go ahead and
into
throw
my
it back
goofy
in
hand.
there.
Throw it in, throw
All
big
right.
ass whisk.
Here we go.
Lyoto Machida
Oh,
choked him out standing up
Mhm.
in his end of prime, right? Lyoto needs to hang him up too. He went to Bellator. We'll talk about that in a bit. Rampage Jackson, he was past his prime. I think Rampage Jackson was way past his prime, like 5 years ago.
Still fighting.
Still fighting Dude, Bellator's catching all of them.
Yeah. Shogun took the belt from him. Remember that?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Ryan Bader.
Watched it live. Yeah.
Ryan Bader. Ryan Bader, who has the belt in Bellator at the moment.
Heavyweight.
I mean, as a heavyweight fighter.
Fighting in the heavyweight.
Matt Hamill.
Bellator.
You lost to Matt Hamill.
Sort of, but not.
But not really. He was beating. He beat the shit out of him, but he lost because he did 12.
John Jones
12
lost to
6.
Matt Hamill while drilling elbows down
into his
onto
face.
Matt
Yeah.
Hamill's face.
You want to take that as a
after
win?
Matt Hamill
Who
had a dislocated shoulder.
Who had a harder road? Clearly,
Was John Jones on
John
steroids?
Jones had the who's who.
While this was going on.
Well, yeah. Was John Jones on steroids? Do you believe
Yeah.
John Jones was on steroids?
Yes.
Do you truly, in your heart's heart, think that the whole time John Jones was fighting, he was on steroids?
A little bit.
Really?
Just
Wes?
a little bit.
No.
I don't
No?
either.
Really?
And I'm biased to Wes's no. I know why I'm saying no. I'm biased to Wes's no.
I think that-
Wes is
I am
right.
biased to John Jones. He's
Yeah.
There's an argument that a lot of people say that John Jones is an all great time fighter, but he needs a little bit of that confidence on the steroids he relies on, and it's his like safety blanket.
So you believe he's always been
You
doing
think he's
steroids?
always
I don't
been on
think he's been
steroids?
like fully always on steroids, but I think he might have just been dabbling
Hey,
in a little
he was
bit.
on an even playing field then, because if we're talking about
Yes.
Well, all these guys,
Agreed.
exactly.
Let's go through this list really quick. OSP, I don't think it was on steroids. Glover, probably. Alexander Gustafsson, no.
No.
Chael Sonnen, fucking definitely. Vitor Belfort,
Yes.
fucking definitely. Rashad Evans, maybe on that TRT shit. He was old. Machida, fucking definitely. Rampage, I don't know. I've never seen him pop for steroids before, but I'm gonna go with no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with yeah. Well,
Really?
Any
I don't know.
any Pride fighter that came from Pride into the UFC, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna
never-
say yes.
have
Actually,
we-
I'm gonna say yes for most of the UFC fighters during that
You
Pride
see,
you
era.
know what?
Look at it,
and
Overeem.
after that Pride
I'm
era.
saying during the UFC pre-USADA era. 'Cause
Yeah,
that
yeah, of course,
Pre-USADA
yeah,
is,
of course,
is
yes.
all of these fights that John Jones did.
That's why, like
Pre-Reebok.
yeah, and I believe it doesn't fucking matter if Jones was on steroids or not, because if he was, I don't believe that he was. If he was, I still don't care, because I think that everybody else was too. I think that was the even
that
playing
was the
field.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was the even playing field.
Do you think Ryan Bader was? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't care. Like Ryan Bader never had a belt. He wasn't. He was a good fighter. He wasn't. He never like. He never had a belt.
So well, he has one now.
Well,
Has a
yeah,
belt.
Oh, and
another-
Bellator belt.
yeah,
The belt
and
that doesn't
Bellator,
really
yeah.
matter that much. So we know what. So okay, so this was what happens to DC. DC goes off into the sunset as one of the. I don't think he's gonna get the notoriety, but he becomes one of the best heavyweight / light heavyweight people that's ever champions. Fuck, call it. That's ever lived, right? As far as champion, if he beats Stipe, clearly he's better than Stipe because he beat him. But also he has beat a shitload of heavyweights, and I think that if he was to fight heavyweight. If fucking Kane, I can't believe they did that because of Kane, and he didn't even fight the whole time. And like all this time, DC could have just been fighting in heavyweight if it wasn't for because Kane's kept pulling out of fights, injured here and there. He could have just reigned over heavyweight if it wasn't for this like relationship that he has with. There's
a lot of very unfortunate factors when it comes to DC.
Yeah.
And like he will be known as a champion in the UFC. I don't think he'll be known as this great champion up there with John Jones and
I
Anderson
think he
Silva
would get-
and GSP.
He would get the participation champion
Mighty
trophy.
Mouse.
Yeah.
He would get participation
Yeah, agreed.
champion trophy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like where it's
Unfortunately
like,
so.
we on paper and what he's accomplished and what he's done, we gotta give it up. Give it out of respect.
That is
You
so
gotta give it up
insane,
to him.
just because of
You gotta
John
give it up to him.
Jones.
But just because of John Jones, we're not gonna look at DC the way that we truly should.
My prediction is that DC will be more famous and more known after he retires than he is
I
as
think
a fighter.
if he beats
but what
Stipe,
he did it as a fighter
if
will
he
help
beats
him.
Stipe, this may clear up some of the John Jones cloud.
I don't agree. I
Really?
wish I could agree, but I don't. Yeah.
Don't
Really?
think so
I-
either.
I-
I think they'll
I-
always hold that over his
I
head.
think that. Think about it. If he beats Stipe Miocic, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If he beats him, that would Miocic. What?
Miocic.
If
I think
he
it's
beats,
Miocic.
if he beats him, he beat a heavyweight. He beat a heavyweight champ. You go into the heavyweight division and you beat the champ who's been fucking murdering everybody, he'll get a respect. It's almost respect, clout on clout. He gets respect just because he beat the guy who's beat everybody.
All right, so like my
That's perfect, right?
Yeah, but then there'll be that asshole be like, but you didn't beat John Jones.
so like let's take an example. So George St. Pierre fought Michael Bisping in a weight class George St. Pierre has never fought in, but Michael Bisping had the belt. George St. Pierre beat Michael Bisping. Now George St. Pierre has had a belt at the 185 division. Is George St. Pierre going to be known as one of the greatest fighters in the 185
Nope.
division?
I can debunk that, though.
Okay.
I can debunk that.
Okay.
Did you have anything else?
Just as George St. Pierre is not going to be known as one of the greatest fighters in 185, I don't like, and I know that yes, Daniel Cormier has fought in heavyweight in another organization, but just because he beat Stipe, and I feel like if he beats Stipe, he will do the same thing George St. Pierre did, which is da-da-da-da, he's going to go like this, everybody's going to take pictures, he's like, I have the belt, and then he's going to say, I am now 40 years old, and I have been saying for a very long time that when I hit 40, I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire at top. It's the intelligent, smart thing to do.
I think that that's incorrect.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. I think that GSP beat the person who was a fake champion to begin with.
Oh, how dare you say
I
that
know,
to me,
and I
boy.
hate to say that about
Bisping.
Michael Bisping, but he's got to know that. He's like, I beat Anderson. You got a title shot beating old-ass steroid Anderson Silva. That's crazy. And the way that he got knocked out in that fight. And the way that he beat him was by decision in London, which I think that he lost that fight anyway. Yeah. And then if we were to go back and see the title fight against Luke Rockhold, he beat him in 9 days. And Luke Rockhold walked in kind of lackadaisical. Cocky as fuck. He's like, I already knocked this guy out once. I can fucking knock him out again. This is going to be easy work. And he went in there and he got knocked the fuck out as he should have.
As he should have.
I hated,
Agreed.
you know what? I hated Luke Rockhold more than I hated Michael Bisping.
Because he walks
He's
around
a cocky dickhead. He's already
Yep.
fucking a good looking dick, but now he's cocky. Now he's cocky. Fuck out of here.
I think it's cool.
Oh, how dare it! You don't feel sorry for fucking Daniel Cormier, but all of a sudden
You feel bad for fucking.
I do not feel bad for Luke Rockhold.
I don't feel bad. I just think it's cool.
Okay, so follow me. So then he knocks him out on 90s Does. He rolls around on this I'm the Champion tour where I always say it, he's the Joffrey of the UFC champs. He just is. It's just the way that it is. And
hey, it worked
all
perfectly for him, by the way.
respect, yeah, and all respect to Michael Bisping. Dude,
All respect for my boy Michael
Hey,
Bisping.
respect to him.
Side note, I taught that guy how to DJ.
Excellent, mate. But I think that Michael Bisping was the Joffrey. So he beats them. So then he defends his belt against who? Motherfucking Dan Henderson? Dan Henderson gets a fucking title fight?
Yeah, but you know why, though, right?
I know. He's wooden.
Yeah.
He's
well,
like,
but you know why, though, right? You know why.
well, because they had their rivalry before in the past.
Because Dan Henderson knocked out Michael Bisping in such a fashion that no one
I
will
know,
ever
but that
forget
is
about
not that is not any reason for him to fight for a title.
Unfortunately, Breeze, we don't live in that world anymore.
I hate
frustrating
this new world.
but it is
It's
the
so
world we live
stupid.
in.
So
Yep, it
so
is.
now
That's why CM Punk gets to fight on
God
the fucking
damn it,
main
no.
card.
But also,
and then we all go, what are
this
you
is
doing?
why
Overeem is in
this
the
is why
fucking
that
prelims.
example doesn't work with GSP knocking out Michael Bisping. GSP knocked out Joffrey.
Yes, agreed.
He didn't knock out the true king. He knocked out the king asterisk.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I don't think that
Agreed.
works.
Here's the tough thing about the heavyweight division. 2 title defenses.
Not Stipe, though.
Makes you 2 title
Yeah,
defenses makes you the greatest
that's ever
heavyweight champion
I know.
in the world,
I
in the
know.
UFC. Not anywhere else. Fedor defended that title multiple times, destroyed multiple badass motherfuckers back in the Pride days. Nobody thinks about that anymore. Daniel Cormier wiped out a division in Strikeforce at the heavyweight. Doesn't matter. In the UFC, if you can defend your title 2 times, you become the greatest heavyweight The baddest man on the planet.
Yeah,
Who
and
is
that's what
Stipe?
and that's what Stipe is at
Right.
3. Because
At
I
three.
don't feel like Stipe
three.
is a he's not Stipe's not a Joffrey, but he is the only man to defend his title.
You know what?
2 times at the heavyweight.
I don't think at the
division.
heavyweight
3
division. My theory about the heavyweight division, I don't think there is even made to be a king heavyweight.
Because MMA math sucks, and
Yes.
it really sucks
I
once you
don't
get to the
think-
heavyweight.
once you get to the heavyweight, it's just like, hey, whoever gets shot
Knocking
first,
out.
if he dies, he dies. Like whoever gets shot first gets shot. It's like
Yep.
2 guys rolling up on each other, not
Yep.
with guns but bazookas, and the first person to
Yep.
get hit wins. The
Yep.
thing is
Pounding.
that no, and they can anybody can get it in the
Yep.
heavyweight division. So
until somebody can do it a lot.
Yeah.
Until somebody can be
a lot.
a John
sorry.
Jones and Anderson
If so-
Silva, a GSP,
you know-
but nobody has been able to
So
do it in the heavyweight
if
division.
someone said, and
What's frustrating is that if Daniel Cormier beats Stipe, he's probably going to retire with that
Is
belt.
there
That's cool.
is there
I'm
a
not mad at
scenario
that.
where Stipe
Me neither.
beats DC?
But I don't think that makes
there's
him
a
the
very
greatest.
big scenario that Stipe beats DC. There's also a very good scenario where DC
Go the other
beats
way?
Stipe because
The coin
here's-
toss of all
it's a
coin tosses.
Yeah, because
That's gonna be great.
I think Daniel Cormier's championship heart is proven. I haven't seen Stipe's proven to me yet.
Doesn't matter when you get to the heavyweight.
I know, but
division.
I think that Daniel Cormier has been such a good small heavyweight
Mm-hmm.
is because I think he has what the other heavyweights don't have, and it's lack of height.
And that's what it is. You think that's
I
what it
think
is?
he's just
Yeah.
he's a
Short
small,
guy. I think-
round.
Yeah. He's a
ball
spark plug.
of
He's a fucking spark
Dude,
plug.
the way
Yeah.
he's built is crazy, and the
There's one other
strength
thing.
that DC has is crazy. He's dropping people on their head.
There's one other thing about Daniel Cormier at heavyweight. Daniel Cormier even though you don't know it when you see him when he walks into the cage at 205, that motherfucker struggles to get to 205. Like he is in the worst mood. He is just this happy, joyful guy. The week or 2 before he fights at 205, he's like
He
the
doesn't even-
sunken
dude,
eyeballs,
he doesn't even-
angry. Dude, like he doesn't have to cut any weight when he fights Stipe.
it looks
he
like-
is gonna come in so healthy. He's gonna come in so healthy
Yeah,
that
never
I
thought
just
about
can't
that
like.
aspect
Dude,
either.
I think about it all the time. I can't wait. I do not know what is gonna happen when Daniel Cormier fights Stipe Miocic or Miocic, whatever his
Miocic?
last name is. I don't give a fuck. But Daniel Cormier is probably gonna come in feeling better and more healthy than he ever
Is
has.
he going to
at
be
205.
slower with this extra weight?
I do not think so at all. I
Yeah.
think he's going to be intelligent
I
and
think-
smart,
I
and he's
think
going to come in
He's so.
healthy.
I think he's smarter than. Okay, if we're betting, I got DC on this fight. I think he's.
don't
I
know.
think he's got. I think he's smarter than Stipe. I think he
got
might.
the
I
experience.
think he's. Well, I think he's definitely got the experience over Stipe. But I think his MMA IQ is very very high. I think that he's a hell of a puncher. I don't think he knocks him out. I think he wins by decision. If I'm to guess, I think Stipe I think DC just outpoints him.
Out-wrestles him?
Out-wrestles him. Wins him. I don't think strength or size is going to be a factor. I think Stipe might actually be surprised by how strong he is. I think even in interviews he's going to say, I know how strong he is, but I don't think he's going to actually understand how strong he is until he actually feels
he's in
it.
there.
I think it's a very simple. I think that Stipe is going to try to knock out Daniel Cormier. I think Daniel Cormier is going to try and out wrestle and win a decision against Stipe, and either one could happen. And it's
Yeah.
going to be so fucking awesome, and it is an awesome super fight. It is one of the best. It's one of the only super fights we've seen in a long time. GSP versus Michael Bisping was not a super fight.
Yeah, it was not a
This
super
is a
fight.
super
I don't care
fight.
what
It
they
was
say. And honestly, we still have not seen a super fight yet.
In a while.
And I'm pouring these shots, guys, for a reason. I'm gonna pour small little baby shots. Here we go.
No moss for Wes.
No moss for Wes.
Little
Okay,
ones.
Yeah.
so
Wes has reached his limit.
All right, you can have a. You can have.
Hello. I'll get in
And the
there.
reason that I'm pouring these shots, guys, is because
Oh.
I want to give a big ups to a new retired fighter named Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks has retired today.
Yes,
and
he
we're gonna
has.
cheers this
Yes,
man.
yes.
Because
Johnny
we're gonna say
Hendricks.
fucking finally and thank you. You've done us all a favor by
Cheers.
A, taking yourself out of the UFC the fight pool, and B, doing your family a favor to not have to watch you get the shit kicked out of you for a living. Because at this point, that's what you're fucking doing.
To Johnny.
So, to Johnny Hendricks, cheers, sir. I didn't mean to make that sound horrible.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
know. I just kept my
Didn't mean
mouth
to be that
shut
way,
and
but
raised my
cheers, sir.
shot glass.
With that said, we've had 3 people retire in the last month. We've had Michael Bisping. We've had Rashad Evans. We've had
Should have.
and we've had Johnny Hendricks, and all
3 UFC
3 of those
fighters.
fighters. You know what? I wouldn't have been mad to see Michael Bisping fight one more. I don't care. That's for his health, and he made an intelligent decision on calling it quits.
He's gonna fix his eye now?
Yeah, because that eye. Rashad Evans, goddamn, Rashad.
Dude. I don't even know.
You should have. And I don't even know if it's a financial thing. I think that at some point people are just like, I don't know when to stop.
Yeah, it's
This
a
is
pride.
all I
It's a
know.
pride thing.
It's a
It's
pride
like,
thing.
I think
there's
it's not even
something
a-
in his mind
I
that
wouldn't even
says,
call it a
I'm
pride.
not, no, yeah, for sure, 100%. He is saying, I'm still healthy. I still feel
Oh,
good
in that
in the
aspect?
gym. Yeah, it's a pride. Like, not pride like, I think that I'm so great that I can still make a run at the belt. He just says...
Something that he wanted to
I can
prove
still
Yeah, he's
himself.
like, I'm not,
so-
I'm young enough and strong enough and powerful enough to take on these
I can do
new
this.
I hope the
up-and-comers.
next generation's smarter than this.
I
hope
I
the
don't
next-
know,
don't think
man.
that will
I
ever
don't.
change.
Yeah.
It didn't change in boxing. I don't think.
I mean, we've
I don't
seen
think it's
like
gonna
fighters
change
like Justin
MMA.
Gaethje going in there fucking.
Oh man, we're gonna be fight fans for life.
Yes,
I am curious to see
What the next?
what the fuck happens to Justin Gaethje at the end of his career.
Dude.
Not saying at the very end of his career. I'm talking about like 10 years after that. Like, what the fuck kind of Justin Gaethje are we looking at? Like, are we looking at a dude fucking like picking up
I
an
mean,
ink? He
he's
sounds
on,
like
he's
Ozzy
on
Osbourne.
record. He's on record as saying like, I got a few more, and then
that's it.
yeah,
That's it?
Because you can't explode.
You can't fight the way he fights and expect to have a long
That's the
fighting
thing.
career.
Like he exploded into the UFC, going, I'm just gonna do this until I meet my equal, and then he met
He met his
His
equal in the
equal,
second
yeah.
fight
yeah,
in
and
the
then
UFC.
and then it happened again, and now he's
He's
like,
been-
all right, I'm gonna be the exciting. I'm gonna be that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Be
that
that exciting
Donald
fight.
Cerrone guy that will take on anybody, and I'm just gonna fucking swing, blah blah. Donald Cerrone, love you, man. Love watching you fight. You had an exciting fight. You got it. You lost a decision. Silence.
Keep going,
Just,
I
hey,
guess.
Donald, that's love watching you fight, man.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
watching your
You
Instagram.
know what sucks? I don't think Donald's ever gonna get the respect as a gatekeeper either.
No, he's not.
No.
He loves what he does.
I
and
think he
he'll
loves
keep
what he
fighting
does.
until someone says like, you
I don't
just
think
gotta
Justin.
fucking
I don't
stop
think Justin Gaethje's gonna get the respect he
Nope.
deserves.
That's
as
why
a-
Well, he's
put
not
them
in the
both
same level.
category.
Yeah.
No, they're in the same category.
So let's
though.
go.
Not in the level, though.
Let's speak on the newly departed, which is Johnny Hendricks. He lost the last 7 out of his 10. The last 7 out of 10 fights he lost.
Yeah.
He got cursed because he beat GSP, and we all know that. He beat the dog shit out of GSP, and we all know that. But GSP took the belt, and
I want to keep my mouth shut on this
Right,
one.
yeah, no.
And Zoel's
Let me
like,
talk
hey,
for
the
you.
batteries, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not going to.
Yeah.
So, after the GSP fight, he lost a very close decision to GSP. GSP got the belt, and Johnny Hendricks is like, what the fuck? Right after that, GSP said, I'm retiring.
yeah,
And I'm not coming back until
Bullshit.
there's something that
I think he
happens as
started
far as
making up-
steroid. Like
Mhm. He
GSP
started
said,
making up all
I'm not
these
coming back
excuses.
until there's some
then
steroid
they
shit
fixed it,
happening.
yeah.
Here's the weird thing. Right after that, Johnny Hendricks started losing fights.
Yeah.
His physique changed. He
Yeah.
couldn't make weight. He couldn't. Lots of stuff happened, but he was never the same Johnny Hendricks
No.
after GSP said, I am retiring until something happens with this
So are you
steroid
saying
bullshit.
GSP was maybe might have been right?
I'm saying that after GSP retired and said, I'm not coming back until something happens to where there is some kind of steroid regulation system in place, and then there was a steroid regulation
Hashtag
system in
USADA.
place, and then Johnny Hendricks was never the same after.
Yeah, okay, so Hendricks was clearly on steroids, and so was most of the UFC, and now we're starting to see all of those guys fall off and hard.
Yeah,
and no one wants to watch that. Does anyone care about watching the fourth fight of Wanderlei Silva versus Rampage?
That's a thing?
That's the thing. They're fighting.
Where?
Do you don't no me gusta, no me gusta, gracias.
No, please.
No one cares? You don't care? No one cares?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, the only legitimate fight that I think Bellator has ever made has been Rory McDonald versus Gegard Mustafi.
Rory McDonald versus
Gegard Mustafi. That's a legitimate fight.
Rory
I think that's one of the
McDonald.
most legitimate fights they've ever made.
You know what I want to see? Maybe we can end on this. Rory McDonald versus MV.
Oh yeah. I don't know if MVP is fighting anybody who's good. I think that's his thing.
Yeah, that's not going to be his thing anymore.
Like, I think his thing is like
the new thing is that's not your thing anymore, MVP.
You got to start fighting people that are quality. But who doesn't like watching an MVP?
Wait to see MVP. Dude, I love watching him fight.
Yeah,
Can't
but he's
wait
not
to see him fight.
caliber people.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. On that note, we're gonna wrap up. Thank you so much for listening to the Donkey Show podcast. We love you guys. You know, we want to be inside your ears.
Inside your ears,
We
yes.
want to be inside of you. So,
Inside of you.
and we want you guys all to know that whenever we have a new episode, you guys can find out automatically by clicking that subscribe button.
You get a little nice little notification
Get
on
a
your
little
phone.
notification says like, oh shit, the Donkey Show is here to be inside of me. So you guys could listen at any time you guys want to. And if you like us, leave a comment. And if you hate us, fuck off. All right. So
leave a comment.
Or leave a
that you hate
comment,
us.
regardless.
Leave a
And
comment
then
that you
fuck
hate
off.
us, and then like
Yeah.
fuck off.
We're not
'Cause
gonna
it's kind of
reply.
hard to hate us, right? I mean, my mom is like, you guys are pretty cool.
And your mom is pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
So
I mean, Mama Ruiz is never wrong. We are the Donkey Show podcast, and we out.